Let me have a good look at everybody. Thank you guys for coming. I see a lot of new babes here. This is awesome. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, Unicorn Shine with the freaking, what? That's the biggest and most amazing rose quartz I've ever seen. That's incredible. Thank you guys. Oh, you're nervous. That's so sweet. I'm nervous too. It's totally fine. It's normal to be nervous. We're doing something new. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm excited to guide you tonight. So, all right, let's just shake it out. Let's just shake out the hacker moment. Oh my God. God bless you. Like, you have time to sit on your computer and like fuck with people on Zoom. I wish I had that kind of time. Like, what the heck? Just shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead and bring your palms together at the heart. Let's just take a deep, deep, deep breath in through the nose, into the belly. Deep breath, let it go. And just centering in, keep the eyes closed for just a second. And just thank yourself. Thank yourself for making the time to come and learn something new, do something new. Thank yourself for everything that you've moved through. This has already been a very powerful year, which is why I wanted to teach a course like this, a little mini course tonight. Honor yourself for everything you've moved through, even just in 2020. And then with a deep breath in, deepest breath in you've taken all year. Deepest breath out. Collect all of your energy, all of your awareness in the here and now. Now is all there is. That's it. Everything else is just an idea. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, and just thank you guys again for being with me. So looks like we got the gang all back. I'm really happy about that. So let me go ahead and I'm going to start over. So once again, welcome. We're good. Okay. Welcome to the Astrology 2020. I'm your cosmic host, Natalia Benson. I thank you for coming. As I've said 60 times, I'm really excited. So I'm going to open up the chat box one more time. And you guys, I know that you already did this a couple of minutes ago, but if you could just one more time, just to get your fingers exercised, because this is Aries season, so we're all about action. Yes. Give me your sun sign and your location only, please. I'm going to read through them and then we're going to get started. Nice. I love this. All right. Scorpio, Connecticut, Cancer from Sydney, Aries, Minnesota, Gemini, Montreal, Taurus, Los Angeles, Aquarius from Gold Coast, Australia, Gemini from LA, Scorpio, Buenos Aires, Libra, New Jersey, Scorpio, Los Angeles, Pisces from Connecticut, Pisces from San Francisco, Cancer from Seattle, Cancer from Bend, Oregon. It's so funny how it does that sometimes. You guys like go right in a row. It's amazing. Leo from Los Angeles, Virgo in Utah, Cancer, New Jersey, Aquarius in LA, Pisces SF, Capricorn LA, Taurus New York, Aries San Fran, Pisces LA, Aquarius from Brawley, California. Amber, you've been kicking it with me a lot. I like that. Cancer from LA, Leo New York, Leo McKay, Leo Southern Oregon, Virgo from Philly, Virgo from Wisconsin. Nice, my darling. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. We're gonna get our eyes on each other really quick. Just send each other love. We do something in here called sparkle fingers. Just send each other a lot of energy. As I said, we've all had a really, really powerful year. I'm a very interactive teacher. So even as I've just got my screen on and you guys are taking notes, like get into it. If I have you do sparkle fingers or do something silly, you actually learn by being kinetic, by moving your body. So you'll actually retain the information better, okay? So yeah, we'll just send each other tons of energy. If you would like to turn on your video, I love that. I really like to see everyone. So yes, all right, back to my, what's this thing called? I don't even know. What's this called? A thing? Back to my thing. All right, let me get the chat going. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to turn off the chat. My PowerPoint. Yes, thank you. I'm going to turn off the chat until the end when I take all of the questions. So just a quick introduction. Maybe some of you know me. Maybe this is like your first time coming to something of mine. Um, Whatever it may be, I just want to introduce myself very, very quickly. But my name is Natalia Benson. I am an Aries Sun, Cap Rising, and Sag Moon. I have been a lover and studier of astrology since 2009, since I was about 22 years old. I'm about to have my 33rd birthday on April 17th, which is super, super exciting. It's almost incredible to me that I ended up turning astrology into a career. When I started studying it, it was just because I got broken up with by a Gemini. I moved to LA. This guy broke up with me, and I will never forget that fated afternoon when my girlfriend, she was a Taurus, she said, "Have you ever heard of astrology?" And that began, to this day now, let's see, let me do my math, about 11 years at this point, over a decade, little over a decade of just a deep love affair and a deep gratitude and appreciation for this system. And I'd love to pass it on. So I ended up being the horoscope contributor for Who What Where for about 4 years. I'm very much like a Richard Branson. I don't know if you've ever heard him say this, but he said, just say yes, always say yes. And I had Who What Where send me an email and say, do you write horoscopes? And I had no idea how to write horoscopes at the time, but I had been studying astrology at that point for about 6 years or so. So I was like, you know what, I can figure it out. So I had a beautiful time doing that. It really helped me grow and not only build my knowledge and my wisdom of astrology, but also make a deeper connection with a wider audience. Moving into my mid-20s, I started to do electronic music. I was White Horse and then Ninth Child. I have a Venus in Pisces, which very much explains my deeply creative nature. It's also placed in the second house, which is me as a women's empowerment coach. And this will all make more sense as I move through. But I just wanted to introduce myself. And again, I'm really honored that you'd spend your evening with me. And just thank you. Love you guys so much. All right, so this is going to be a very, very unique class. So first and foremost, actually, before I go into that, I'm going to sit here for a moment. So first and foremost, the reason that I wanted to do a class like this is because this is a very potent year. We are currently experiencing a global pandemic. We have had massive fires in Australia, devastating fires, over 1 billion animals killed. I mean, things have just been very intense. We lost a very dear someone many people looked up to, a big sports star that we lost the end of January. I mean, there's just been a lot of things, a lot of emotions circulating, a lot of intense energy about. And especially with everything going on right now, I just want you to know that there is rhyme and reason, even like cosmic rhyme and reason to everything that we're experiencing. And everything is constantly calling us in the direction of our growth and our greatest empowerment. And so, with that being said, tonight I'm going to guide you through a very unique system of sorts. I've actually never taught it in this capacity, but I'm going to show you just a very simple guide, and I'm about to send you guys a link so that you have access to this guide and it can help you as you're taking notes tonight. But in essence, I'm going to take you through month by month and talk about the big astrology of that month. And then through this little guidance system that I've cultivated for you, you are going to see how to connect to it, how to work with the energies of the cosmos and the way that astrology speaks to us, so that you mute. Oh, Lordy. Hello. There we go. Hold on. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Zoom is the most fascinating thing I've ever experienced. So, okay. Anyhow, with the astrology this year and the way that you can focus month by month, you can make it extremely personal. I almost forgot what I was fucking saying, but hopefully that makes sense. How's everybody doing? I'm going to get you a link. And with this link, I'm going to turn the chat box on in just a second, but with this link, you can follow through my notes, especially as I am taking you through month by month. And I'm going to explain this in just a second. So let me go ahead and grab you this link. I'm going to throw it in the chat box. One moment. All right. Okay. All right, can you guys see that link in the chat box? Actually, hold on, it just went to Madison. Madison, if you could just send it to everyone, that would be great. Okay, can you guys see the link? It says nataliabenson.com/astrology. Everybody got it? Okay, awesome. So go ahead and grab that link. You can put it into a browser that you enjoy using that doesn't give you too much of a headache. And basically, I just want you to have this on hand so that if there's something that you want to look up as I'm moving through, you have the liberty to do so. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So you guys have access there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So where I want to start tonight is actually a little something called the language of the planets. Now, here's the thing. So first and foremost, the planets do not dictate your life. They are neutral beings that contain mass amounts of energy, right? And according to Western astrology, we can look at these planetary bodies as influencers. They do not dictate, but they may influence. And so tonight, I'm going to really be speaking with you about transits and how to understand the transits at large for the year of 2020, so that, as I was saying a couple minutes ago, you can move through this time with empowerment. You can move through this time and see, how can I bring this back to me so I feel powerful? It is so easy when stuff like this is going on, like we've got this global pandemic happening. It's so easy to, especially if you tune into the news media, to feel very overwhelmed. And so what I want to show you with this system is that you can see, okay, hey, this is the way the universe is speaking to me, and here's what I can do about it. Okay, it's very, very powerful. And as I was saying a couple moments ago, astrology has been one of those things that has really, really shifted and healed my life. So in the link that you guys just got, and if you're just joining, or you were taking a nap or grabbing a glass of water, whatever it may be, if you would like access to the notes as I move through, just go into the chat box and grab the link. It will take you to my website. Let me get a quick eye on you guys. Can you guys give me a thumbs up? Were you guys able to open the link? Everything looks good. Okay, fantastic. Thank you guys so, so much. Perfect. So first and foremost, these are the symbols of the planets. I just want you to be versed in these. You do not have to memorize them. I color coordinated them for you according to their energy. But it's really powerful as you are understanding astrology and moving through the language of astrology that you understand the symbols of astrology. So what I would like you to do tonight, as you are taking notes and I'm taking you through month by month, I would love for you, as you are writing the planet, you also write the symbol, because what this helps you do, it helps you learn, it helps it anchor into your nervous system, and you can start to be more versed in this language, in this cosmic language, I like to call it. So these are all of the planetary symbols. Now, most important for tonight is really this page right here, and you guys have it on the link. The notes that I drew out for you. So this is really powerful. The language of the planets. So this is for each one of the planets, exactly how you can translate the message of that planetary body. So at first I had your, but then you'll see in a moment when I outline the system I'm going to take you through that it made more sense to have my, so you can bring it back to yourself. My emotions, my voice and mindset, my creativity, my actions, etc. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this in just 1 second. Not to worry. Let me turn this down a second. There we go. I'm going to come back to this in just a moment. So as I move through each month of 2020 from January, actually, we're going to do a little bit January and March, and then I'm going to take you April through December. So what you are going to do is anytime I say a planet, so not to worry, I'm going to explain this very, very thoroughly. So if I'm skipping around, not to fret, okay? So if I say something like Pluto retrograde, so we see Pluto, my transformation, right? Retrograde, I'm going to talk a lot about retrogrades because we have a lot of retrogrades, as we do every year, but we've got a lot of retrogrades and very powerful conjunctions this year. So I wanted to give you a conscious definition of what retrograde means and the way that I translate it. So what you'll do, so let's say I'm talking about Pluto retrograde. What you're going to do in your notes is for the month that I'm talking about, you are going to translate it. So you're going to be like a translator of this cosmic language. So if Natalia says, all right, this month we've got a Pluto retrograde, you are going to refer to those two guide pages and you're going to see, okay, Pluto, here's the symbol for Pluto. Let me write that down. And then what does Pluto mean? So Pluto means my transformation, okay? And then retrograde, going within. So one more time, right here, go within, slowing down, listening, going into a more yin state. And I'm going to explain this in just a moment. So that is the way we're going to move through tonight. Like I said, we don't have a ton of time together. We have a perfect amount of time together, but this will be a system that you can write down and then go into deeper study on your own. That's really important to me in my work, that you're not just reliant on me and what I've studied and what I know, because what I know, you can know. You just got to study. That's all I've done. It wasn't like I just popped out of the womb and I was like, Pluto retrograde, May 2020, here's how it's going to go down. Like, it's actually April 2020, whoops. But it's just like I've studied and I've carved out this part of my consciousness because I'm passionate about it, and I'm passionate about understanding life and living life in an empowered fashion. And astrology is just one way that I've really related to life in a more empowering fashion. So another example, I'm going to give you guys a couple little tests before we move on. So if I say in June, we have a Mercury retrograde, go ahead and refer to your notes. You guys can go ahead and get to me in the chat box. What are you going to write for a Mercury retrograde? So we're going to find Mercury, my voice and mindset, and then we're going to find the key for retrograde and what that means. So under June, we're going to say my voice and my mindset, and going within. Okay, so it might the notes might seem a little cryptic at first, but do not worry. It's just one really awesome way that we can get through everything. And don't worry, each month I will have little explanations on how to move with the energy of that month. Okay, sound good? Everybody got it? I only saw one person respond, so do you guys understand? Everyone's doing all right? I'm going to give you guys one more example. So let's say, yes, that's what I like to see. Thank you guys so much. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, you guys are the best. Just stop it, but don't stop it. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you. I'm glad that makes sense. So this is going to be super fun because you can see, as I said, how to make a connection to these planets and to the movement of what's going on. Is that really landing? Because that's to me, the most important and exciting part about this system. All right. So let me talk for just a moment about why 2020 is so powerful. It's a little planet way at the fringe of our solar system called Pluto. Maybe you have heard of him. So Pluto is a planet that he is known by. These are just a couple of his keywords. And I spelled transformation wrong, but just bear with me. I have a sty. I couldn't see. Just kidding. I don't know why I spelled that wrong, but it's transformation. So here's the cool thing about astrology. When you are studying, you really just have to hook on to a couple key words and key pieces of information. So with Pluto, these are the four sort of key words that I want you to really connect to. So Pluto is an energy of transformation, power, death and rebirth, and evolution. Now, here's the thing. Pluto, when we talk about death, it doesn't so much mean physical death. It means more transformation and shifting from one state to another. Pluto has an energy, according to Western astrology, that really, it's one of those parts of life that are just unavoidable. It's the part of life that we all are deeply familiar with, that when we move through trials and tribulations, we grow. That is Pluto's energy. And so, something very powerful about 2020 that is very unique. So, Pluto, in essence, it has been journeying through Capricorn since 2008. So, he has been in Capricorn for 12 years. Almost right when I started studying astrology is when Capricorn went into Pluto. About a year in is when I began. And as Pluto moves through Capricorn, he moves very slowly. He is what is known as an outer planet. So he is all the way at the fringe. I know that some may be thinking, but wait a second, Natalia, he's not considered a planet anymore. Well, according to astrology, we still consider him a planet. He carries a very powerful resonance and energy according to the system of Western astrology. And so this year, right at the beginning of the year, which is where I'm going to begin my notes with you in January 2020, Saturn made a conjunction to Pluto on January 12th. Now, there's an energy in astrology that I want you guys to remember, whether you're studying your birth chart or you're studying an event chart or a lunar chart, whatever it may be, however deep you want to wade into the pool of astrology. Here's what I want you to always remember is that there is an essence in astrology that we really take seriously the beginnings of things. So just like for you, you have a natal chart. And I'm sure if you are here with me, you probably are very into astrology, or you at least know what your natal chart is. And for those who have not heard, a natal chart is based on your date of birth, your place of birth, and most importantly, your time of birth. And so that time is very powerful. That's like a snapshot. And so in this energy, the beginning of 2020, we had a very powerful conjunction to start our year. It wasn't so much the moment. It's not like it was like, 1/1/20 and we had this conjunction, but only about 12 days in, we had this powerful, intense conjunction that we are seeing is really coloring the energy of this year. At the macro level, Pluto has to do with transforming as a collective and even stepping into our soul, stepping into something deeper, the death of the ego. You guys, can we all agree that right now, I love that there's 111 participants right now. That's cool. I'm very into numbers. So I think we all can agree that we are seeing kind of a collective death of the ego right now. And because we are having to change, we are afraid for our lives, right? Coronavirus and COVID-19, this is creating a lot of fear. A pandemic creates a lot of fear, but what is it threatening? Only the ego. The soul knows it's eternal. The soul knows that whatever happens on this planet, we will be all good. But Pluto also represents that part of us that must face our own death, not even just our physical death, but mostly the death of who we once were. And as a collective, we are facing that right now. And throughout the year, the reason that 2020 is so powerful is because at the collective and then as well at the individual level, we are being asked to transform. We are being asked to step into a whole new expression of power. We are being asked to die to our old selves and be reborn into something that is far more aligned with who we truly are. And we're being asked to evolve. And evolution is not always easy. Evolution with Pluto is kind of shared with another planet called Uranus. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But this is, to me, this is the reason I wanted to have this class. We can all go home now. We're all home anyway. We can all get off Zoom. This is the reason I wanted to have this class, is to talk to you about the power of Pluto, and that this is not something to be afraid of. This is something to embrace. And Pluto has an energy. It's not all dark and doom and gloom. And I didn't use the heather gray for, because it sucks. I used this color because the energy of Pluto has to do when we face our shadow, we are powerful beyond all measure. For each one of you, you have a Pluto placement in your natal chart. And wherever Pluto is placed in your natal chart, this is the part of your chart where you are meant to step into your power. And guess what? If you don't, that part of your life is going to be extremely hard on you. And I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you all have a part of your life that maybe gives you more problems than others. I can almost guarantee 85% chance it's your Pluto placement. And if you focus on the strengths of the sign that your natal Pluto is situated in, you can alleviate many of those issues. Is this making sense? Are you guys doing good? I can see your videos. Give me thumbs up. You guys feeling good? Fantastic. Oh my gosh. We're doing good. You guys are amazing. Okay, perfect. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's do it. Let's go have fun. I'm really excited about this. So for the sake of my lecture and moving through month by month, here is what I would like you to do. I probably should have written this for you on a slide, but basically I want you to come to a totally new piece of paper. And this doesn't help. There's way too much going on in here. But basically, on a new piece of paper, I want you to write the month that I'm talking about and then a line underneath it. And then you're going to basically write whatever I point out. Okay, so like in January, we'll just start with January as our example. Saturn conjunct Pluto. You don't necessarily have to write the conjunct. If you'd like, you're welcome to, but we'll just say Saturn conjunct Pluto on January 12th. And then what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at Pluto, my transformation, and Saturn, my responsibility. So getting into that chat box for a second, how do you guys translate that? If in January, the beginning of 2020, we had Saturn conjunct Pluto, what can we say was a theme of January and perhaps even a theme of 2020, since we had these two planets talking to each other? A conjunction is nothing more than two planets that are communicating, okay? They either intensify one another or they're having a party. It depends on the energy of the planets. But that's a whole other conversation. Yes, my responsibility to transform. Our evolution as a society and humanity is our responsibility. So what I'd like you guys to do beyond that, I want to keep it very, very simple. That is true, my love, but here's what I want to just have it be very, very simple. Pluto, my transformation. Saturn, my responsibility. So we can translate that, my responsibility to my transformation. Does that make sense, you guys? I want to keep it super simple, and then you can go back through and do the work. All right, awesome. Yes, and I like that. My responsibilities are transforming. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You have an Aries astrologer here, so I will always be encouraging you to bring everything back to yourself. That's very, very important to me. And I believe that as we work on ourselves and pay attention to ourselves, we can impact our lives in miraculous ways. So first and foremost, and I'll say this one more time before we move on to the rest of the months. So for Saturn conjunct Pluto on the 12th of January, oh heavens to Betsy's. You guys, me and hold on. I just want to be able to see you while I'm doing this. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so starting in January, Saturn conjuncting Pluto. And what did I mention about the start of things? So it's the start of our year. We have a message from the planets. It is my responsibility to transform. It is my responsibility to evolve. All right. So that's how we started our year. And everything that goes on with 2020 circumvents around this theme. Everything. It is my responsibility to transform. It is my responsibility to step into my power. All right. So we're going to move on. We're going to skip over February. I'm going to mention one powerful thing about March. And sorry for all the February birthdays. We love you. Happy birthday to the Aquarians and to the Pisces. We love you so much. But I want to just really get to the rest of the year so you can see the power of what is ahead and how you can work with it. So in March, we had Saturn, which is what? So March, we had Saturn move into Aquarius. And I'm going to explain why that was powerful. So Saturn again has to do with what? My responsibilities. You know what? I'm not going to tell you. You guys know. You guys have got it. So in March, we had Saturn move into Aquarius. That's very powerful. Aquarius represents humanity. So how do we translate that? My responsibility to humanity. Exactly. I saw that. Nice. Kylene, I think I'm not saying your name. Yes, Kylene. Beautiful. My responsibility to humanity. So starting in January, off to the races, 2020. My responsibility to transform. Then we get big, heavy hitting Saturn moving into Aquarius, the sign of humanity, the sign of the future. Guess what else Aquarius rules? Astrology. You guys are taking your responsibility to learn astrology. I like that. But it can really be Aquarius rules anything that just brings people together, brings higher self-knowledge and self-awareness. So again, it is our responsibility now, and we are seeing through this pandemic how we are all connected. And what is happening as Saturn is just getting into Aquarius, we are seeing that we have a responsibility to connect to one another as well as take care of each other, right? We're seeing the connectivity. So that's something very, very powerful about March, and another big tone set, we'll say, for 2020. All right, let's move into April. So moving into April, we've got two big things that I'd like to talk about. So first and foremost, on the 4th of April, just a couple of days ago, we had Jupiter conjunct Pluto. So Jupiter conjunct Pluto. So once again, I'm going to come back to this. But remember, Pluto, the theme of 2020, the reason 2020 is so powerful is because we've got a bunch of big planets conjuncting and talking to this very intensely powerful planet. Now, what's up with Jupiter? Jupiter is my growth and opportunities. Pluto is my transformation. So perhaps as we move deeper into April and deeper into the year, although maybe not easy, we start to see the opportunities that we have to grow and to transform. we start to connect more deeply to, okay, man, this is happening. This is not a test. Where am I learning? Where am I being invited to a higher echelon of who I am? Jupiter expands whatever it touches. Pluto transforms. It's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, like if it did that, bing, but it doesn't, it probably burns a little. That's Pluto's transformation. Jupiter likes to help us expand. And so when these two planets are communicating, we can see our growth and our opportunities. I'm sorry, we can see our growth and our transformation as bigger opportunities. Maybe we can even create opportunities out of the way that we're growing, the way that we're transforming. Something that's been really online for me and moving into the rest of this year is empowering more women to start conscious businesses. I love coaching. I love teaching. This is my Jupiter conjunct Pluto. I love helping women transform through acknowledging how powerful they are, how big they can be. Jupiter wants to expand whatever it touches. And so beginning in April, and we have this conjunction twice. And what I want to also really hone in on as well is that, I'm not having this class because these are run-of-the-mill things that happen all the time. Everything that I'm talking about, especially with the conjunctions of 2020, are very, very rare. So they are beautiful opportunities for us to grow and transform. Jupiter conjuncting Pluto happens every 13 years. At the collective, it means one thing, but for tonight, I really want to focus on what it means for us and how we can empower ourselves through it. And so what I want to invite you, babes, as I move through the rest of the months, is I want you as homework to go back, keep track of these, and then see each month, okay, how am I transforming? How am I cultivating an opportunity to grow or transform this month? Where am I stepping into my power this year? Where do I feel responsible to go for my dreams or go for what I want? Does this make sense? So you can use this as a guidepost to guide you through the year and really do your inner work. Because you guys, if there's one thing amongst so many that I've seen in my own life work miracles, it is paying attention to my inner work. And that's why I teach stuff like this. Bring it back to you because you can create absolute miracles. Now, moving on to the end of April, we have a Pluto retrograde. Now, the reason I really want to focus on retrogrades throughout 2020 is because if we have a theme for the year of transformation, power, death, and rebirth evolution, then the retrogrades of going within, slowing down, listening to ourselves, those are especially pronounced. This is definitely not a year where you want to ignore your inner promptings or ignore your feelings. If you have a call towards something, you must answer it. If you have an emotion that has been nagging at you, you must listen to it. This is a time where things are so heightened and things get so pronounced and zapped with Plutonian energy and this desire for a deep transformation at the individual and collective level, that if you ignore these prompts, it's just going to be intense. So just don't. Listen. Honor yourself. So speaking of that, I already talked about this one. On April 25th, Pluto will go retrograde. So what does that mean? We can now go to work on our transformation. Pluto will be retrograde for, I believe, about, let me see. It'll be retrograde until October, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So over these months from April, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 months, you can go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work. Do your soul work. That's going to be our entire fucking summer. It's going to be great. And I'm here with you all the fucking way. That's why I do this stuff, because I want to help. I'm here to help. I'm sure many of you chat with me on DMs. I'm going to have tons of classes. We're going to be doing so much fun shit. We're going to make inner work transforming and stepping into our power magnificently wonderful. Are you guys into that? Are you excited? Are you as excited as I am? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Made me even more excited. Now, going into May, we have, are you ready for this? We have 3 planets going retrograde. So I want you to go ahead and write these down. So we have Saturn going retrograde on May 11th. We have Venus going retrograde on 5/13. And then we have Jupiter going retrograde on 5/14. So with a Saturn retrograde, we can go within on what? I can see you, so you can just mouth it, please. Remember I said get interactive? Come on. Come on. Go within on what? Here, I'll underline it. Do. Saturn retrograde. Go within on my responsibilities. Reconsider. The thing with retrogrades, they're not so much about like your life stopping and going to a halt. It's about you listening, moving from the major yang energy, which when all of these planets are direct, they're in their yang expression. They're all systems go. It's like you're driving a car. They've got the gas pedal on, right? You're just cruising along. When they retrograde, they just stop the car. They do an oil tune-up, they check the engine, they fix the air conditioner. That's the energy of a retrograde. And they're not driving backwards, by the way, on the freeway. That would be terrifying. They're just sitting there and they're working on the car, working on the energy. So that is what you are meant to do as a soul incarnate being during retrograde periods. Why do you think people flip so badly during Mercury retrograde? Because nobody knows how to freaking slow down. Myself included. I mean, I'm an Aries. So, but think about it. If our stuff stops working for a moment, people have to sit with themselves and just go with it, right? So, back to Saturn retrograde. Starting in May, we will have the opportunity to reconsider and look more deeply at our karmic responsibilities, at the way we're showing up for ourselves, at the way that we are showing up for our purpose. Saturn has an energy behind him of the karmic reason for why you came to this earth. It's very powerful. And second to that, with Jupiter going retrograde in the same month and over the summer, I look at Jupiter and Saturn as 2 sides of the same coin of soul purpose. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, maybe our growth, our opportunities, they may slow, but it's so we can learn, we can focus on ourselves. You can take a course this summer, you can get that certification, or maybe you go all in with your job or your work and figure out if it's the thing for you or if you want to move on. If things go to a slow, as I said, just remember that car analogy with retrogrades. It gives us an opportunity to look under the hood, fill the coolant or whatever, and like fix and see what's going on. Now, right in the middle of the month, or right in the middle of these 2 retrogrades, we'll say, because they're all in the middle of the month, we have Venus retrograde going within around our creativity, our love, our self-love. This may be a big wake-up call. With everything going on and the deep transformation that colors this year and the responsibility that you have to transform and perhaps even set a precedent for the people in your lives. Well, Venus goes retrograde to check in with you. Bink, bink, bink. What are you creating right now? How are you loving yourself? Where is love in your life? And not just with another person, but where does love sit in your life? How do you express joy? When Venus goes retrograde, we feel it strongly. The reason for that is because she's an inner planet and she only retrogrades very, very rarely. Every I believe is it a year and a half or 2 years? I'll double check on that for you guys. And when she retrogrades, because she's so close to the sun, which represents our consciousness, so see how the sun represents my consciousness, my awareness. So when she slows, we feel it. That's why we so often feel Mercury retrograde so strongly, not just because we're obsessed with our smartphones, but also because Mercury is situated so close to the sun and that represents our consciousness. Okay, let's move on to June and July. We have a really powerful summer. Now, just so you guys know, for the sake of time and making this concise, I didn't pinpoint lunations. I talk about those all the time on the podcast and on Instagram, and I'm sure you guys follow many amazing astrologers and they talk about that stuff too. So that's a different class altogether. So starting in June, we have more retrogrades and a very big conjunction. We've got Mercury retrograde on June 18th, and it will be retrograde in Cancer, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. We have Neptune retrograde on June 23rd. But then, yay, Venus goes direct. Her energy will be back online. I'll explain that in a moment. She goes direct on May 25th. I'm sorry, June 25th. Sorry, I wrote the wrong date. June 25th. Venus goes direct. She's only retrograde for about a month and a half. And then we've got at the end of the month on June 30th, another Jupiter conjunct Pluto. Do you think the universe is speaking to us? When there's multiple conjunctions, that's like pay attention, pay attention. You're going to feel this, right? Jupiter conjunct Pluto, once again, our transformation, growth, and opportunities, our opportunity to transform, our growth and transformation, however you translate that, however it sits best with your heart. So Mercury retrograde, our voice and our mindset, we do a little upgrade, a little work on it when Mercury goes retrograde. All of the Mercury retrogrades this year are retrograde in water signs. Waters are the emotions and the soul. So again, because we're being alchemists tonight, we're translating the language of the cosmos. Mercury, my voice and my mindset, retrograde going within. Let's call him a he for now. As he retrogrades through water signs, what do we also have the opportunity to do? Go within, revamp, maybe the way we look at emotions, the way we look at our soul, the way we relate to our inner voice and our inner relationship. All right? I'm giving you guys a ton of information, but I know you can handle it. And I'm going to take questions at the end. So make sure to mark them down if you've got them. And then just please note that on June 25th, as I said, I just wanted to make sure I got that date right, that Venus goes direct. So let's move into July. I'm going to start to zoom through these. So in July, remember I talked about how Saturn went into Aquarius back in March, but then he went retrograde in May, and he cruises back into Capricorn on July 1st. And that's a big deal. Anytime we have a big outer planet move signs, that's powerful. That's something we really pay attention to in astrology. And so with Saturn retrograde back into Capricorn, Capricorn represents structure, the structures in our lives, business, commerce. So when Saturn, which is we'll say our collective responsibilities, retrogrades, which means we're reconsidering something, we're slowing down, we're looking at it, goes back into Capricorn, we may still be working with everything that's going on right now. Kind of makes sense with the timeline, right? When Saturn went into Aquarius is when all this stuff started to come online with COVID and with the pandemic and how this was going to impact humanity. And perhaps by then everything is clear. And when Saturn goes back into Capricorn, we've got to take a look at the economic repercussions. It is our responsibility to help to take care of people, right? That's a way bigger conversation, but the system can sometimes seem very, very cuts you off. It's like, if you don't make the cut, you're out. And Saturn is this karmic energy. So moving back into Capricorn, we may be reconsidering at the collective how we approach that. How does it look for us at the individual? We may be reconsidering a business or the way we work or the way we make money or create a vocation. It is our responsibility to do so. How many of you, just to give me an idea, you can just raise your hand, how many of you would like to start a business or have a business? You can just hold up your hand for me so I can just get an idea. How many of you would like to have a business or have launched a business, et cetera, just so I can see who I'm chatting with tonight. Thank you guys so much. I'm just zooming through real quick. Zooming through on Zoom. Awesome. How are you guys doing? Are you okay? Is your mind like, what in the heck is she talking about? Are you having fun? I hope so. Yay. Okay. I saw some smiling faces. That makes me happy. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So getting into July, we may be considering that. What did I talk about in May? That may be a big month where you've got to really look at your soul purpose, your life purpose, and if you're doing something about it with those retrogrades, with Saturn and Jupiter retrograde. Remember what I said about Saturn and Jupiter. I believe, this is the way I've studied astrology and the way I've seen through my own life and through my clients, that Saturn and Jupiter are two sides of the same life purpose coin. And we'll get those check-ins of how and we're expressing that. And that might be you work for yourself. That might be you have a vocation that feels aligned with you and you're helping to build a dream, someone else's dream that you deeply believe in. All of it applies. So moving on in July, Chiron retrograde on July 11th. When Chiron goes retrograde, I actually didn't put him in here. I apologize about that. So Chiron represents our healing. So you can just add Chiron to your notes. Chiron is my healing. Okay. So with Chiron retrograde, we work with our healing. We work on our healing. We go deep within, we slow down. That'll be middle of July, right in the middle of Cancer season, which is a great time to do that. And then just to note, the day after Chiron goes retrograde, Mercury goes direct. And so when Mercury goes direct, we definitely feel our mental faculties, the way we connect to each other, it goes back into its yang expression, goes more online. The car is driving forward on the road again. All right, let's talk about August, September, October. And then I'm going to show you guys something really cool on my astrology software. I'm going to take questions and then we're going to call it a night. I kind of lost track of my time because I didn't see when I started again. So I'm going to zoom through this, but still make it very powerful. That's my specialty. Go fast, but make it count. That's like, I should get a tattoo or a t-shirt with that on it. So basically August, we have Uranus retrograde. I wanted to outline all the retrogrades. So in August, Uranus retrograde on August 15th. So what is Uranus? Right here, and you can go to your notes as well. So Uranus is my ability to change and evolve. When Uranus goes retrograde, it'll give us that opportunity to see, okay, where do I want to evolve? Where do I want to create change in my life? And sometimes what'll happen because of the play of our subconscious, it may seem like these things happen to us, but really they're always happening through us. So any big changes or spaces you are being asked to evolve in your life throughout the year, know that those things are happening for you so that you can step into the ultimate expression of who you are, your power, all those Pluto themes. Moving into September, we have Mars retrograde. Like every planet goes retrograde. So basically, just so you guys know, a little astrology 101, the sun and moon are luminaries. They never retrograde. They are luminaries, okay? They do not retrograde. We call them planets in astrology, but they're not technically planets. They're luminaries and they never retrograde. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all the planets in our solar system, and all of them go retrograde this year. What is the universe saying to us? Go within, slow down, listen to me, make some changes, work on the carburetor before you go zooming into your future. You know what I mean? So, September, Mars retrograde on the 9th. That is the ultimate message, because what is Mars? Our action and innovation. So when Mars goes retrograde, we really get asked to slow down, slow our roll, and be more methodical. So if you've made some big changes this year, or you want to move in a new direction, or something really leveled you, Mars retrograde can have that energy of like, okay, how do I want to progress? How do I want to move forward? Aries and Scorpios will definitely feel this a lot. I didn't write down what sign it retrogrades in. That sign may feel it as well, but the ruling planet for Aries and the traditional ruler for Scorpio is Mars. So every planet other than every sign other than Leos and Cancers really can feel their retrogrades when their planets go retrograde. Isn't that interesting? You can do deeper work in whatever that planet represents. All right, on September 12th, Jupiter's energy goes back online. We have a Jupiter direct on 9/12. 9/29, Saturn goes direct. So we're starting to get this yang energy back. The work that we've done over the summer, the way we've reconsidered our responsibilities and our purpose, our growth and our opportunities, our opportunity to transform, our opportunity to grow. These are all things that as we do this work and we pay attention. Now, you guys, I just want to say this as well. You don't have to go looking for these lessons. They will find you, but you can proactively work on yourself by theme of what these planets represent. Does that make sense? You don't have to go search for them, but you can be proactive. Okay? Awesome. All right, moving into October. On October 4th, Pluto goes direct. So Pluto's energy will be back online, moving full steam ahead in Capricorn. And by full steam ahead, I mean extremely slowly, because Pluto just doesn't move very quickly. And then moving into October, on October 13th, we have a Mercury retrograde again. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year. Give our minds, the way we speak, the way we approach ourselves and each other, a bit of a reset. And Mercury at that time will be retrograde in Scorpio. So again, remember what I'd mentioned about all the Mercury retrogrades being in water signs. Water, according to the esoteric, represents our emotions and our soul, the intangible parts of life. Scorpio is also very deeply intense when it comes to feelings and the intensity and passion around life and the feels. I think we have a couple Scorpios in here. My dad's a Scorpio. And so with that retrograde in October, if you haven't been doing your inner work, you're going to feel it especially then. So as I said, let's be proactive. How did everybody feel? Like, I didn't talk much about February because I was moving on, but maybe you could write to yourself if there was anything prolific that happened in February or anything that you learned at like a really, really deep level. Because that was when Mercury went retrograde in Pisces, which I found fascinating because as all of this stuff has been coming online slowly but surely, from my perspective, I've been seeing it as like, let's pay attention to our soul. Let's pay attention to empathy and sensitivity, the deeper sides of life and our connection to each other, which are all Piscean themes. And I think that Mercury retrograde in Pisces is kind of getting us ready for that. So ask yourself and tie this back to your life. Was there anything profound for me during those months where I maybe got a slowdown or a little tug to kind of listen, pay attention to my spirit a little bit more, be more empathetic or sensitive? So let's move into November. I like that. I hear you. Me too. November and December. We are almost done. You guys are doing amazing. All right, November 13th, we have Mars direct. And then November 28th, we have Neptune direct. Actually, holy shit, I don't think I gave you guys when Neptune went direct or went retrograde. Did I miss that one? Oh, shootsies. Yeah, let me look it up really quick. I didn't write it down. I was actually wondering where that one might have been because that's a big one. Kind of actually, ironically, what I was just talking about with Mercury retrograde. Oh, I did. Thanks, Laura. Where did I write that? Thank you. Oh my God, I was so worried I forgot it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, awesome. I was like, wait, did I say that? I've said a lot of things tonight. So, okay. So starting November 13th, I'm sorry, November 28th, Neptune goes direct. You guys, I have this blue light blaring in my face. This is the 7th class I've taught in the last week. Like if my like words are starting to like blur together, thank you for being compassionate with me. Doing my very, very best. I'm like, whoa, lots of blue light in your face and lots of talking. But fortunately, I love to talk and I love to teach. So we're gonna persevere. So as Neptune's energy comes back online the end of November, this is a big outer planet. It's right next to Pluto. Well, not right next, it's probably like a billion miles away, but they're kind of like neighbors. But when Neptune's energy comes back online towards the end of this year, this can be a check-in. My soul. Where are you with your soul? Where's your soul grown during that retrograde period? Where has the collective soul grown? Are we all getting deeper? Are we going deeper with ourselves? And I believe especially for this year, because Neptune is journeying through Pisces, well, Neptune rules Pisces. And Pisces is what I was just mentioning with that Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Empathy, sensitivity, caring about each other, giving a shit about the deeper parts of life. And not that we're just mind and body, but that we are a soul as well. And so with that direct, and as Neptune's energy comes back online and we move into 2021, do we have our souls intact? Do we have a deeper relationship to ourselves and to each other? Moving into December, Chiron direct on 12/5. Saturn will move back into Aquarius, and Jupiter will now move into Aquarius. Since the chat box is still working, I'm not sure why. Since the chat box is on, what did I say about Aquarius? What does Aquarius represent? We've got these two powerful planets that represent our karmic responsibilities as well as our growth and our expansion moving into this sign of Aquarius. Humanity, yes. So 2020 in this year at the individual level and the collective, because we as the individual, we make up the collective, am I right? The work that we do on ourselves and the power that we cultivate within ourselves, that then contributes to the whole of humanity. So at the end of the year, at the end of 2020, Chiron will go direct, that healing energy coming back online. How have we healed in a deep way this year? And write those questions down in December. I hope that you go back and visit these notes. Ask yourself these questions. Live with awareness. That's why I love astrology, because we have the opportunity to do that. And then lastly, our big conjunction right at the end of the year is Jupiter conjunct Saturn in Aquarius on 12/21. Our responsibility to grow, our responsibility to expand and step into who we came here to be. And let me tell you a fun fact about Jupiter. Jupiter is this energy from the universe that when you, and this is a natal chart moment, but you guys can look at this in your natal chart. And if you want to know how to look it up in your natal chart, I have a free class for that on my YouTube that's really popular. So when you step into your Jupiter placement and embody it and the strengths of it, that's where God universe shows up for you. That's where your miracles are. Isn't that awesome? It's very cool. So at the end of the year, we'll have that Saturn energy checking in, getting responsible with your growth, with your opportunities, with your expansion. Have you done the work? All right, that's all I have for you guys. And I'd love to take some questions. And you guys have the notes. Oh, we got some hand raising. God bless you using the hand tool. I love you so much. The cosmos are telling us beings to get our shit together. Fucking well said, Hannah. That is exactly it. All right, Miss Sarah, where are you? Can you let me see if I can have you. I don't know how I'm gonna. Sarah, can you please raise your hand again so I can unmute you? Because I don't know if you can unmute yourself. Was it Sarah Keeley? I hope that was you. Hey, Sarah. What's your question, babe?
Oh, Dylan, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, great. Sorry, the chat's not working.
Oh, no, raise your hand. That's what I want. That's actually just a PSA. That's how I'll have you guys raise your hand, is to just, you'll literally click participants, hover over your name, press raise hand, and that's how I'll have it in the queue. So you did it perfectly, Sarah.
Okay, great. No, I raised my hand when you were talking of April with Jupiter conjuncts Pluto about transforming, and this butterfly about no deal, like the size of my palm, flew beside me into my kitchen, which is all about transformation. And it's amazing.
Oh,
so I just wanted to share it with you back then.
Babe, thank you. Well, thank you for sharing it now. That was perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. So I've been in and out. I've got the 3 kids at home, but I've written all my notes. So thank you.
We're sending you so much love for all the mamas who are home right now with their gaggle of kids, which I'm sure one kid can feel like a gaggle. We send you so much love and support.
Thank you. Thank you. We've got clear thoughts like there's no tomorrow.
You're like, heal.
Yeah. I put this on my husband's head this morning. I'm like, oh, good.
Zen out.
Thank you. Sorry, I've asked some questions, but I just wanted to let you know.
Love you, babe. Thank you. I love that so much. Kimberly, do you have a question? I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Kimberly. Hello. Are you shocked? Are you available for your question? Do you guys have questions? No? Okay. I'm going to unmute you again. All right. Rachel Brockhurst, do you have a question? You are unmuted.
Hi, it's Rochelle.
Hi, Rochelle. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that.
You're okay. I just wondered if you had any keywords for direct, like when you say a planet is direct.
Yes, that's a great question. So direct would be like a yang energy. So did you guys see when I said retrograde, I put yin at the end? Yeah. Did you guys see that? Everybody? Perfect. Okay, perfect. Just making sure. So there's yin energy in retrograde, right? It's a go within. So direct is like I was saying, kind of like back online. It's a yang energy. It's progressive, moving forward, like all systems go. So remember that analogy with the car where I mentioned that the direct is like the car driving on the freeway. You're just like going forward, right? Retrograde is the car stops and you work on the car. That's a retrograde. Okay. Does that answer your question, babe? Do you have any other questions?
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Miss Christine. Hello, my darling.
Hi.
Hey, babe.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfectly.
So I have a question because I'm a hot mess over here. I'm trying to write stuff while my son's doing homework. Um, I missed July. I know you said July 11th is Chiron. Did you say something after that? Mercury goes direct?
Let's take a quick look. So for July, we've got Saturn retrograde and it moves back into, well, Saturn already was retrograde, but Saturn retrograde moves back into Capricorn on the 1st. We have Chiron retrograde on the 11th and then Mercury direct on the 12th.
Okay. And then my last question was, okay, it's kind of like a 1 and 2. November 13th and 12/21.
November 13th and 12/21. So November 13th, we have, what is it, you guys? Somebody put it in the chat. I'll put the chat back on. What's up with the 13th? Mars direct. Heck yeah. So we have Mars direct on the 13th. And then what's on the 28th? The one that I almost forgot that I even told you about.
You said Neptune?
Yes, Neptune direct. Yes, ma'am.
And then the 21st of December?
21st of December is the big conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn.
Oh, that's what I missed. Okay, Jupiter and Saturn.
Yes.
That's conjunct?
Hey, Noah. Sorry, what did you say? I got distracted by the cuteness.
You said Jupiter conjunct Saturn?
Yes, Jupiter conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So this is a good note for everybody. On the 17th, Saturn goes into Aquarius, which is a big deal. The 19th, Jupiter goes into Aquarius, which is a big deal. And then they meet and conjunct and say hello and share energy on the 21st, right before. That's actually on the solstice. So winter solstice for us in the northern hemisphere, summer solstice, I believe, in the southern. Powerful day.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. I'm still getting familiar with all this.
I know. I'm so
beautiful
proud of
astrology.
you.
I'm trying.
You're doing great. You're not trying. You're
I'm not trying. I'm doing. I got myself out there. Thank you.
Thank you, my love. You guys are so amazing. Okay, Talia, I'm going to unmute you. You ready, babe, with your question?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
So I'm still trying to get like familiar with everything. So would you be able to explain a little bit more in terms of like retrograde and how we can look into our natal chart and connect all the retrogrades to that?
Oh God, I thought you were going to be like, could you just start over? And I was like, oh God.
No.
Just kidding. So retrogrades, just remember, keyword with retrograde, forget the yin, forget all the other blah, blah, blah things I said. Just remember going within. a retrograde, when we see a retrograde planet, Tarot, come here. Tarot's like, why aren't you feeding me? Come on, come on. Tarot's like my energy blanket when I'm like about to combust. Just had like a really long day. So retrograde, going within, right? Now, how do we tie it back to our natal chart? So that's a little bit of a deeper dive question, but what I can offer to you that's easy is figure out how to navigate astro.com. There is a link in my, actually, let's see. Let me see. I'm going to gift you guys for making it tonight. I'm sure many of you guys have this anyway, but I'm going to gift you guys Mystic 101. I'm sure many have it. Maybe some of you do not. So if you do not, happy Aries season and thank you for coming. So I will have Megan send that out to you tomorrow. And Talia, this will actually answer your question around transits. It's a little bit too much of a deep dive for me to get into right now, but you can easily go into Mystic 101, go to the astrology section, and literally, oh, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating it. I'm excited. You guys will love it. And in the astrology section, I teach about how to spot transits. And so what you would do if you know, hey, in let's see, everything goes direct at the end of the year, but let's say, okay, hey, I'm looking at May and holy crap, thanks, Daryl. I'm looking at May and there's all these retrogrades, let's say Saturn retrograde. So what you'll do is you will go and figure out how to pull up a transit chart, which is in Mystic 101. You'll look for the Saturn glyph. It'll be on the outer periphery of the chart. And then you'll say, okay, there's the Saturn glyph. It's retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, that traverses this house for me. You see why it's a little bit of a deeper conversation, but I promise you, once you get the hang of it, it's extremely simple. It's just a lot for me to teach right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, babe. Thank you. Great question. And then if you have questions about it, Talia, once you get the course, you can literally just DM me or send my team an email and we'll get back to you. Awesome. Okay. Melissa, you are unmuted.
Hi, love. Thank you so much for this class. This is amazing.
Thank you.
First off.
Thank you, babe.
So I am wondering if you have tips to share. Like, we have so much Saturn energy going on, you know, in big ways.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of other people too just have entered into their Saturn return. And myself included. So I am just wondering if you have tips of how we can lean into this Saturn energy to make it really productive and not get, you know, we have a lot of stories around Saturn being like limitations and delays. And so to try to not get so wrapped up in that kind of story around Saturn.
That's a great question. I'm so glad someone asked about Saturn return, because I wanted to make this obviously really apply to everybody, but I'm like, I know many of y'all have got your Saturn up here in Aquarius and you're just like, oh, here he comes, you know, here it comes.
So much energy in Aquarius in my natal chart too. So it's
it's going to be a powerful time for you. So that's why I focused on the word responsibility, right? So instead of it being like, limitation or blah, 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 whatever it is. Okay. Thanks, TT. I'll feed you in a couple minutes. I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. So anyways, in essence, with Saturn, it's just getting responsible. The way that I look at Saturn energy, it's grounding. Think of Saturn. I'm full of analogies. Think of Saturn as a personal trainer. You go to the personal trainer and you're like, hey, I want to feel great in my body. I want to have more vitality for my kids. I want to whatever, look good naked, whatever your reasoning for going to the personal trainer, right? And so the personal trainer is going to say like, cool, okay, thank you, got it. All right, well, I will see you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And I will see you every morning at 5 a.m. for the next 6 months. That's Saturn. And so Saturn has that energy of like, but here's the thing, at the end of those 6 months, those 5 a.m. workouts, you're gonna feel fucking amazing. It's gonna be really hard the first probably 2 weeks, but week 3, week 4, week 5, that's the thing, you guys, I want you to remember, Saturn returns get easier. Pluto energy gets easier. You just got to show up for the work. Let's say you book your personal training sessions and your trainer says, be here every morning, 5 a.m., and you only go 2 mornings a week. You think you're going to feel good in a month, or is it going to still be hard, right? It's showing up for the work of life. It's showing up for the work and the challenges present in our experience. And when we do that, it gets easier. It's like surfing. We learn to ride the wave, right? Does that help? That's one of my favorite analogies for Saturn return.
Yeah, so helpful. And it's like, because I have so much like Venus, like flowing energy in my chart, that structure is like, oh, like really? But it's like finding that flow with the structure.
Get creative with it. That's why I used proactive words for you guys in that guide. You guys have the link. You guys have access to that guide. That thing is gold. It's gold. Go back and look at that. As anytime you're feeling stuck or you're looking at a transit and you read on some website somewhere that it's like the fucking apocalypse, just go back to my shit and just read something empowering, okay? Because that's kind of the thing, especially with a year like this. The very fatalistic astrologers are just having a heyday level 10, and I don't think that helps anybody. You know what I mean? We want to see how we can write it in an empowering, loving, creative way. So just go back to that guide anytime.
Amazing. Thank you.
Welcome, Melissa. Thank you for coming. Nice to meet you, babe.
You too.
Thank you. All right, you guys are so wonderful. All right, any more questions? Start to bring them through. I'm going to take a couple more after these gals. Oh, Stephanie, you're not able to raise your hand? I saw that in the chat box. Amen. Okay, you are next, Steph. If I don't get you after Rachel, just like wave at me like this. Send smoke signals. Okay, Kylene, you are unmuted. Hi.
I'm Kai too on Instagram.
Girl, I know, baby girl. I know.
Joining you all week.
I love it. I'm so grateful.
It's been awesome. So,
I'm so glad. Thank you.
So you mentioned Mars and how Aries is ruled by Mars, but then you mentioned traditionally Scorpios also, which I have a Scorpio 4-year-old son.
Yes.
Sorry, my internet's being weird.
That's a little slow, but it's okay. I'm getting it.
Traditional. When you say traditional, where does that come from? Was there a change in that? Or where did it?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if it went through. Where does
No, I can totally hear you.
Traditional to what I don't know what you call it now.
No, I got you, babe. I'm gonna answer because I can hear you perfectly. Can you guys hear me? Is my signal okay, or was it just Kai's? Okay. No, I got you, Kai. So, babe, basically what happened is back in the day when we had let's say like the original system of Western astrology, imagine, let me let tarot out. So when we had the original system of Western astrology, the planets that were utilized are what they could see with the naked eye. So I believe it was in the Babylonian times when they started to systemize what we now utilize as the Western system. So there's obviously the Vedic and a bunch of other stuff. So with the Western system, I wish I could remember the year that we discovered Pluto, but it wasn't until we had telescopes that we could see all the way out into the outer reaches. So initially, the original ruler for Scorpio and Aries was Mars, because why? It was all they could see. They didn't see Pluto yet. So when Pluto was discovered, and here's the cool thing about astrology, you guys, that I just think is so fascinating. There's a book, I talk about it a lot. It's called The Only Astrology Book That You Will Ever Need. Thank you, Mimi. Love you. Thank you. She said 1930s. I'm assuming you mean 1930 is when Pluto was discovered, but let me know. In essence, when you read about the tarot, you're being like a child right now. This is getting me ready for motherhood. Get out. Out, Google. Oh my God. She's a Pisces and she just runs amok on me sometimes. You guys have no idea what I deal with her. She's like the most demanding furry creature I've ever met in my life. So anyways, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll bring it back. In the book, The Only Astrology Book That you will ever need, she talks about the astronomy of the planets. And what's so cool is if you want to understand about the energetics of a planet, learn the astronomy. And until I think it was the information age or the age of enlightenment or something like that, astrology came first. And astrology and astronomy were the same study. But then during the age where everyone got super logical, they're like, no, fuck astrology. That's fucking bullshit. And really, astrology came first, and astrology was what actually birthed astronomy, which is fascinating. So anyways, that is the very long-winded answer with many interruptions to your question. Does that help, Kai? Let me know in the chat box. Or you can give me a thumbs up. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thanks, my darling. All right, I'll take a couple more questions. Thank you guys for being with me. This was so much fun. It's a lot of information. So I'm going to take Rachel, Stephanie, and then Courtney. Okay, cool. Some people are saying they're not able to raise their hands. Okay, Miss Rachel Pope, where are you?
Hi, I'm right here.
Hi, Rach. How's it going, babe? What's your question?
So mine was just super quick and easy. I was wondering what program it was that you were using, like when you and I met, that had all the asteroids. I know that you can access that within astro.com, but I was just curious.
Yes, I actually wanted to show you guys this program, but I kind of ran out of time with everything going on. So this is called Ephemeris. This is a $60 program that you can buy on Apple. It might be for PC, I'm not sure. It's just through the App Store on the computer.
Okay.
Really incredible. And so actually something I'll show you guys very quickly. Thank you for reminding me. So beginning of the year, we've got this big old thing, big old conglomeration. And look, what is this? You guys know from your notes. This is Pluto. And so what we see all year, I'm just moving it every 7 days, but keep your eye on Pluto. He'll keep moving clockwise to the right. But as we keep moving, and that's why I love this program, watch this dance with Pluto all year long. Just keep watching. Keep your eye on Pluto. And just so you know, all of these big planets, all of the planets conjuncting him and so close to him are very intense planets. They're very powerful planets in our zodiac, or I'm sorry, in our solar system. You'll see Jupiter's with Pluto almost all year. So anyways, I just wanted to illustrate how as we move throughout the year, we have a dance and like a conjunction with Pluto almost the entire year. And that's rare. That just doesn't happen. And we're seeing the intensity from all of this. Very present. So yeah, there it goes. And it's called Ephemeris. Ephemeris.
Okay.
Not be pronouncing that right. I forgot what language was my first language, to be honest. So love you. I only have one more live tomorrow night, and Madison's going to be doing all the talking, and I'm just going to sit back and listen to crystals, and that's it. And then I'm taking the week off for my birthday, so I'm excited. Yes, that's right, Christine. You that is it. Okay, Stephanie, who else Courtney. So we're going to do Stephanie, Courtney, and then I'm going to say, I love you guys. And then we're going to call it a night. So I don't embarrass myself because I forget how to talk. Hi, Steph.
Hi, thank you. Thanks so much for this. This is awesome.
Thank you so much.
I have like a little two-part question. Hopefully it's not too long. You talked about how, well, I guess the first part is, does it matter like what houses things are in? I'm always curious about that when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, because my Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn, or no, Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn are all in my 8th house.
Mm-hmm. Is this for your natal chart?
Yeah, according to my natal chart.
Yeah, houses are extremely important. And tonight, like I was saying at the beginning, this in essence is more transits at like a collective level, and then you guys can see how they play out in your life throughout the year. And then when you go deeper with Mystic 101, you will definitely be able to spot these transits and see how they apply to your natal chart. But yes, if we were talking about, have you taken my Navigating Your Natal Chart class or any of my astrology courses?
I took a course with you a while back. I don't remember which one it was. I actually don't think I've done any of your astrology courses. I think that was like a social media course.
Okay, cool. So just so you guys know, well, Mystic 101 gets you into everything, the whole system of astrology. And then in terms of like, let's see, I'm thinking, has anyone here taken Navigating Your Natal Chart? It's my YouTube. It's like a free 2-hour workshop. I don't know if we go deep into the houses there. We kind of do. I just have an intuition telling me, Stephanie, for you to take that class. I think you'd really like it. And that's really for anybody here. It's really, really powerful.
Awesome.
The house number is there. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you took it.
And then my
cool.
short little next part was with the, like with all the nitty gritty of everything you gave us tonight, like there's a lot of detail. How do you go through each month and kind of zoom out and say, okay, I'm not going to let this take over my life, but these are the things I want to be aware of?
I mean, basically, like what I pointed out for you guys month by month, there's so much going on. I only picked out 1 to 3 things happening per month that I felt would be the most beneficial for you to pay attention to, right? That are kind of like the things that we can feel and like really, really pay attention to. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys this honestly. I don't live and die by astrology. I love astrology. I check my natal chart. I've studied it for 10 years, but I live my life. Yeah. I see how my life engages with the astrology. You know what I mean? Like last week, I was laid the fuck out because I kind of like what I've done this week. I've just been really busy. I wanted to really show up for you guys and just help. There's a lot going on. There's a ton of change online right now. And by online, I mean online for us as a humanity. And sometimes I can just go balls to the wall and like not listen to my body. That's like a kind of an Aries thing, I think. And it was the 31st. I woke up and I couldn't remember what I did the entire morning. And that's scary. And I had to lay in bed and just literally do absolutely nothing. And later in the day, and I pulled out every tool. I did Kundalini. I chanted. I drank water. I ate 3 square meals. I went for a run. I took a freaking bike ride. I put my feet on the planet. Like I did everything I knew and nothing made me feel better. All I could do was lay down and just shut STF up, or just be quiet. Mick was grumpy that day. I was grumpy. It was the weirdest day. Only to discover that it was Saturn conjunct Mars. So my ruling planet conjunct what's Saturn? Melissa was asking about it. Heavy hitting, kind of intense karmic energy, responsibility. I had a responsibility that day to sit my fucking ass down, right? Like fucking chill out. What are you doing so much stuff for? And so that's what I'm talking about, how I don't so much look ahead and I'm like, what's going to give me trouble? You know what I mean? I just live, and then I'll go back. I'm aware of retrogrades, but again, the way I just taught you guys tonight is the way I approach astrology, which is, how is this going to help me become better? How can I step into my warrior goddess energy and be proactive? That's it, right? And so that's what I would definitely suggest. And that's why I teach the way that I do, is because I don't want this to be another thing in your experience that trips you up. I want it to be something that enriches you, and then go back and do the research. Then I went back and I was like, oh, LOL, how did I not see this conjunction coming? Because I was just supposed to live it. You know what I mean? Does that help?
Yeah, totally.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Me too.
Oh, you guys are so, I love you guys so much. Babe, how often do I look at my chart? When I feel like it. I've looked at my chart so many times. I have that thing down to a T, that it's like, unless something really powerful is going on, I don't look at it as much. So yeah, but look at it when you feel it. And when you're studying and getting to know astrology, kind of like what Stephanie was asking, study your chart. It is so fascinating. It's the quickest way to learn all of this. Let's see, a couple more questions. Where can we find these dates each year for astrological events? So my favorite place to get the dates is Cafe Astrology, and it's called Planetary Overview. It's some of the most accurate, but for some reason, maybe that's why I skipped it. It didn't have the Saturn conjunct Mars. That's a huge conjunction, and it's not on that planetary overview. I thought that was really interesting. Are we in new paradigm, long age of Aquarius? Supposedly, yes. Yeah, we are. We're definitely moving in. But I had a conversation with Vanessa Montgomery. She's an incredible astrologer out of Australia. She wrote a book called Star Power. She was on my live last night. She told me that, you know, these, I think they're known as like I think are epochs 25,000. I don't remember. My brain, numbers in my brain are not happening right now. But I think that the cycle for Age of Aquarius is about 2,000 years. So it's not so much like there's a definitive date. It's like something that we are just moving through. But it's worth looking up. And if you find like some definitive, answers, let me know. Because honestly, I've looked around and I've never really found something that's like, this is the date. But you could find some weird articles, so just be careful. Google is a wild place for things like that. Is it like looking at the scale every day? No. Do you have a favorite astro chart app for your phone? Do I? No, I don't. I have my app, but that's not really like, I do reports. That's not really charts. Vanessa last night suggested Astro Gold, but that was a good one. Okay. All right, you guys, I gotta go. I love you so much. I'm so freaking tired. I'm like, I think I might say something and you're gonna be like, wow, she's lost it. I love you guys so deeply. Let's do this. What is my skincare routine? DM me and I'll tell you. I love you. You guys, let's just bring our palms together. Just such a beautiful night. I wanna look at all of you before I go. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so honored. Like the fact you'd come and like learn from me, it means a lot. I'm really honored. I really hope I served you tonight, that you got a lot of valuable information, and that this really, that this really touched you in some way. After I get a good night's sleep, I will be back on the DMs tomorrow. If you have questions, please email my team, or you can email me directly, Natalia at Natalia Benson, and I'll get to you as quickly as I can. We will get Mystic 101 over to you guys within the next 24 hours. Thank you so much. Love you so much. I bow to you. I bow to you. I bow to you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you. Bye.